Hey everyone, Hassan here, and you are watching the Nintendo Fuse podcast. This is a special episode. It's kind of a little mini special that we wanted to do. And today we have our usual podcast crew here with us. We have Barry,
Hey guys.
and we also have Link
Hi.
and Mario.
Thank you so much. It's a me, Mario.
So Link and Mario graciously joined us today for two reasons. One, we're going to be talking about Smash Brothers, but also Steve and Greg you wanted to show off these hoodies that you got, right? So you want to kind of discuss what they're all about?
Sure. I'll go ahead and do a little little fashion show sort of thing. So this is the Link hoodie. I'll tell you where we got them and everything later, but it's kind of cool because it's got this little, like the actual like hat, and it's all modeled after the
Waker.
Toon Link. Yeah, Wind Link. So Wind Waker, Toon Link, and it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna take this off because kind of feels weird over my head. Yeah, and then Greg's got the Mario one. So Mario, you want to show off the Mario one a little bit?
Sure. Alrighty, so mine also has like actually the hood. It has a kind of like a weird bill, like it's like supposed to be like the front of the hat. So it kind of like it doesn't really stay out, but it kind of it's almost like forced bend down a little bit. So now that that's out of the way, but all right, let's see how far I can get back from the computer. Then obviously the chest looks like you're wearing overalls. Got the little yellow buttons from the supposed overalls that you're wearing, and on the back I believe it's just all blue and like red. I can't really tell. But
Yep.
I think there's a spider on your back.
It's a golden
Skulltula.
Skulltula, yeah. So yeah, we got these. So we'll just kind of jump in and just discuss them a little bit. We got them from a company called TV Store Online, and so they sent us a couple of them just in honor of Nintendo's 125th anniversary. They released these Nintendo themed ones. So I believe there's a Link one, there's a Mario, there's a Luigi. Greg, do you remember what the other ones are?
it's just Wario, and that was it.
Wario, okay. So yeah, you can find them on tvstoreonline.com. And before we jump into just our little mini review of them, we do want to let you know that they graciously offered a discount promo code for all listeners and readers of Nintendo Fuse. And so if you want to go to their site, you can get 15% off if you use the code Nintendo Fuse. So just Nintendo Fuse, all one word, lowercase. You'll get 15% off of their site. So yeah, tvstoreonline.com is where you'll find these and many, many more shirts and stuff. One of the cool things that they have, it looks like, is pretty much every shirt that Sheldon has ever worn on the Big Bang Theory. So that's kind of cool. So you'll find Nintendo stuff, but you'll also find a whole bunch of other things. Use the code NintendoFuse for that 15% off. But yeah, Greg, what do you think about the Mario hoodie?
Well, it's very comfortable. I think it fits really well. I mean, I have the size large or whatever, but I mean, it's very soft. It feels pretty nice. The only thing I really didn't like was on this one is the bill of the hood, because it's almost like it would block like your vision a little bit if you wanted to actually display like the M like in full. So it's like now it's like touching my nose. So it's like I can try to adjust it so it's like farther back, but then it's like you don't really see it as easily as it would. I mean.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I'd also say like it's incredibly comfortable. Like it's thick material, very well made. I think the Link one's kind of cool because it really does look like you're wearing the tunic and everything. They made it very well, and I think the same thing for the Mario one. Looks like you're wearing the overalls.
Yeah.
The Link one also, like I pointed out earlier, has the full hat that he wears. This kind of hangs down, which is really cool. So. Similar to the Mario one, they've kind of tried to make it look like Link's hat. But I think really, it's good quality. I think the original price for these are, I think is it 30 or 40?
I think it's 40.
I think they're $40 each.
40 sounded right.
Yeah, so I think they're $40 each for them. And I've also got the large, and it fits pretty well. Obviously, I didn't have the size comparison to see what the medium fit like, so we just ordered the large for each of us. I'm excited about wearing them at PAX and maybe other gaming events. We're already talking. My wife and I were talking about maybe we'll dress up as like Link and Zelda or something like that for this year's for Halloween or something. But other than that, I think that's probably the only critique I have of the hoodie itself is when am I going to actually wear this outside of like gaming events, which is really no critique against them at all. The hoodie itself is very well made, and it's really cool. I like it, but I don't know how often I really will be wearing this.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I really wanted to say. When my wife saw it, she was kind of like laughing. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like it obviously looks really nice and authentic, but then again, it's not for like an everyday wear thing. You wouldn't just wear this to work. You wouldn't wear this just like out roaming around in public unless you really are that kind of person, I guess. Maybe me and Steve don't fit the bill for that to wear those things on a daily basis.
You don't walk around and talk like Mario and dress like that every single day? Like what?
No,
I
I'm Luigi. I'm like Luigi, you know. So, I go undercover as Luigi. But
yeah, I think overall, I think we're both pretty impressed with the way they're made. Incredibly comfortable. Like the other day when I first got it, I kept it on all night long because it was so comfortable. And I think that's just speaks volumes in terms of the company that makes them and the company that sells them. They were extremely nice. I mean, sending us a couple and then sending us up with a discount code and everything. So we have definitely some high remarks for them and for the make of these hoodies as well.
Definitely agree. The quality is definitely right there. If you're looking for something very comfortable, and maybe you do wear it on an everyday basis, these are perfect for you. You can go to the site, redeem our code, and save some money on it. But
it's true. Yeah.
It's also an easy Halloween costume.
Yep.
I would just have to wear a pair of jeans, and I'd be all set.
There you go. I gotta find some tights. Yeah, we'll think about that. But yeah, I'm excited about just it's casual sort of thing. So if I do go to PAX, there's a bunch of different cosplay going on, and usually the most I do is just I'll wear like a graphic tee, something with Nintendo or something. But I'm excited about maybe wearing this one day. Probably the only thing I'd say in terms of gaming events, those things get hot, and this. Because it's so well made and it's thick, I'm already sweating just sitting here. It's a quality hoodie, not just good looking and fun for those Zelda fans or those Mario fans, but it's very well made and it will keep you warm in the colder months.
Nice.
Yeah. So head to TV Store online and use our promo code NintendoFuse for 15% off any purchase. Not even these. Pretty much any purchase you can get 15% off.
Cool. Definitely check that out, everyone. And like everyone said, it's nice for Halloween coming up, but it also kind of coincides with Smash Brothers coming out very soon for 3DS. So buy the Link or Mario hoodie, and you can play as those characters in the game, have some fun. And so Super Smash Brothers is kind of the main topic here today. This is sort of a mini little podcast, essentially. So for those that don't know, we do a NintendoFuse podcast roughly once a month or so, but then we might do these extra things here and there like this one. And check that out. It's on TalkShoe, and it's also on iTunes. But you can head to NintendoFuse.com for the full details on that as well. Our next episode will be coming up next week, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But today we want to talk mostly about Smash Brothers and then a little bit about other games that we've been playing recently. So Super Smash Brothers for 3DS comes out this Friday, October 3rd. Can't believe it's already almost here, this Friday. The lucky people in Japan have already been playing it for a little while, but this Friday for us at least. But thankfully, they did release a demo on the eShop, and the demo actually shows, it released on September 19th for the 3DS, or a week earlier than that for select Club Nintendo Platinum members. So we've all kind of been playing the demo, and we wanted to talk about it basically and give our thoughts about it. So let's start with you, Steve. Any impressions on the demo?
Yeah, I just say to start with, I think it's cool. I think it's I think especially for those of us that got platinum on Club Nintendo, and we're like, the game, the prize that they gave us was kind of like whatever, we kind of discussed that on our other podcast. All of a sudden they just kind of throw this out there and it's like, oh, you're also getting this, and like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I don't know if it was already planned or if it was some sort of response to the kind of public outcry that we didn't really get that great of prizes. But overall I think that's cool. But yeah, I think just kind of just an overall statement before we kind of jump into more details. We were kind of talking about before the podcast. I enjoy playing it on the go. I think it's cool to have Smash Brothers, to take where I want and everything. However, I'm realizing that I'm so used to the GameCube controls that I struggle on the 3DS some. Because the circle pad, for instance, doesn't really do what I want it to sometimes. It doesn't have the same exact control that I'm used to for my GameCube controller, and I'm used to the C-Stick. I'm a big C-Stick player, and so when I just have to rely on my own precision to get the circle pad in the right spot and time my hits and everything for smash attacks, it's a bit of a struggle because I end up doing something that I didn't want to do. So positives and negatives about being on the 3DS. But yeah, I think we'll probably get into the roster and how it plays and everything a little later. But that's kind of my overall impressions, quick impressions, is that I like it being on the 3DS, but at the same time there are some negatives too.
Gotcha. What about you, Greg?
I pretty much have to agree with a lot of those points. I mean, obviously it's really nice to have it on the go, but even like when I'm on the train, I'm like it's kind of shaking around, so it's kind of like even hard to be focused like on a particular thing. So it's nice to be able to like practice and play, but then again, you also have to be like an environment maybe you can like concentrate easily, or maybe even be like perfectly seated like in something that's not really moving, like a bus or a train or maybe an airplane even. But at least that's my initial impressions of it. I know one of the biggest things for me was also the controls. I mean, I wish for the demo they'd be allow you to change around the controls, so then you can turn off like the jump when you're hitting up, or you can change like jump to be like a shoulder button or something instead, or move the shield button around and the attack buttons. I saw like IGN had posted they use like their attack and specials as Y and B. That seems like it would be a pretty good alignment than using A and B, but that's another thing that was kind of bothersome was really the controls, because I've been so adjusted to the GameCube, just having the better precision of a control stick as opposed to the circle pad. I also saw those same issues that Steve saw when I was trying to do like a down attack, but then it said I was doing like down right, which made it a right attack, and then so I did like the wrong move kind of, and can leave me vulnerable to another attack or whatever.
Gotcha. What about you, Barry?
Yeah, I think most people are in agreement with the controls, myself included. I played with the GameCube controller for Melee and Brawl, and I will again for the Wii U version. So when I first picked it up jump, and the buttons were all confused, and it took me a while, but I got used to it. And I wouldn't really knock the game on it because there are the customizable controls in the real game. I don't know if you could change it so you can move with the D-pad. I don't think you can, but if you could, that would be great. But I've seen a lot of people say, well, the Smash Brothers on the 3DS is more for fun, and the one on the Wii U is more competitive, and I kind of agree with that. I picked it up. Once I got used to it, I was battling, higher level CPU and having a blast. I also tested out the LAN play. My wife and I played, and then we had a friend come over, and we played 3 people, and the connection was fluid. It was perfect. The frame rate never dropped, no lag, and we had probably about 3 or 4 hours straight of constant matches, and it played wonderfully. And I just can't wait to be able to do that again because I miss 4-player Smash. We do play on the XLs. I know some people may have problems with the smaller screen, but I personally had no problem with the XL screen. It was big enough. But I was very happy with the demo overall, and I'm very excited about the game coming out. And I think even with the controls and the circle pad not being a control stick, get used to it, make do with what do. At least you have it on the go. I'm excited.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of, I echo what everybody else said about the controls and everything. Although the circle pad actually wasn't too big of a problem for me. It was just the buttons, like the arrangement of it. But you can customize, like you were saying. I think they use Y and B that IGN used or something. That's kind of. I feel like I customized that on Smash Bros. for Wii on Brawl or something. So I'm looking forward to switching that up in the final game. But still, as is, it's definitely pretty fun. The game itself, so the demo is limited to 5 characters in one stage. So you got Mario, Link, Pikachu, and then 2 newcomers, Mega Man and Villager. And then you have the Battlefield stage, although you can also do the Omega form, the final destination form of Battlefield as well without the platforms. And even so, there's still a lot of like replayability. I mean, it's Smash Brothers. Like you can, like there's all sorts of items. You never know what's going to happen. You're limited to the 2-minute 2-minute time battles, but it's still so much fun to do, and yeah, it's been a blast. I don't know what character you guys have really liked playing as. Personally, for me, it's been the Villager. He's the one that I was really excited to play about, and I actually fell in love with using him. He's like so much fun. You gotta like strategize a little bit with him, especially when he plants the tree, and then like you have to kind of go back to it, make it grow, then do the axe. So it's like a multi-step thing, but it's so satisfying when it's done right. Like I did one like towards the ledge one time, and somebody was trying to recover, and then I chopped the tree and it fell on him, killed him. I was like, oh, so satisfying. So he's definitely very fun to play as.
It's true. I had actually look up, or I was watching, I think, someone playing on Twitch or something like that, and saw that you could actually cut down the tree, because I didn't know that in the beginning. I just thought the attack was you make it grow and you hit someone. Then all of a sudden I saw someone cut it down, like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And it's like, it's a pretty big, powerful hit when the tree falls on you, which makes sense. And so yeah, that was cool when I realized that. So I've been playing as Villager quite a bit as well. 2 players that characters that I usually go to are Pikachu and Mario. 2 of the characters that I play a lot, and the other versions as well. I like Yoshi a lot as well, so I was kind of disappointed it wasn't in the demo. But I've been playing mostly as Mario and Pikachu, but my kind of the 3rd level one has been the Villager, because I think he's got a lot of really cool, both close range, but also some distance attacks as well.
Yeah, I've been. My main was Kirby, Link, and Pit for the 3 games in order. So this time I really wanted to try Mega Man. So I've been playing Mega Man exclusively, learning, because he's got a lot of mechanics, a lot of different specials, and I honestly haven't even picked up and really tried much of the others. I played with Link a little bit, but I'm just trying to master Mega Man to see how it translates to the real game. And I think I saw so many people saying, "Oh, he's just filled with gimmicks," but he's very powerful. And if you play him right, I've noticed some really interesting tricks you could do, especially his down A, the hard knuckle is probably one of his most powerful moves. I've noticed, like, with the smash balls there, I could just jump over the smash ball and do down A and instantly get it. So I was like, all right, that's pretty sweet, especially because he's a ranged fighter.
That's true. Like, I think most of the time that when I lose to a computer player, I haven't obviously tracked it, but I would say more often than not, it's been Mega Man that I'm losing to.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
He's a hard one to master. Like I've played a little bit of him, and I'm not that good at him. But he's fun to play as. I suck at using him.
I mean, also like Barry, I've been trying to learn his moves quite a lot. I was initially struggled a lot because it seemed like I was getting killed, even like with like the level 4 or 5 computer I started at, and then I started doing more and more matches, and then it was like every single match I'd go up to another notch, go up another level, go up another level, and then finally I was playing like the level 8s, and I was like starting to even win there. So then now I've been taking on the 9s, and I can win on a somewhat decent basis already with him. It is a lot of fun. I find myself using only all the A attacks. I find myself barely even using B unless I'm recovering.
I'm the same way with Mega Man. I rarely use the B attacks other than recovering. Like his A's are just so strong.
Although Mario is really gotten on my nerves because he keeps reflecting my charge shot back at me. But that's just a stupid error because I keep using that charge shot like the whole time, and the computer was figuring it out. They're like, hey, this moron just gonna keep shooting it at me. I'm gonna reflect right back at him, and then it's like boom, it gives me like 25%, and I go like flying back.
Villager
But
does it too.
Hmm.
he doesn't really he doesn't really like, take it back and like launch it at me. I've seen him like he used my attack against a computer and got an easy kill with it, but he hasn't really like easily tried to shoot it right back at me.
Can he? So Hudson, you play a lot as a villager. How's the pocket thing work for him? Can he put attacks like that in this pocket, or is it just items?
Yeah, attacks as well. He'll either pick up items or projectile attacks and stuff, and he'll pocket them. And then next time you press A, he'll use the item or throw it out. So every now and then, like if there's like an item box, I'll like snatch it up and use it later on, or I'll just throw it up when I need some items. Or if somebody shoots a projectile. Although I'm still not that good at him, so like I always forget that he can do that sometimes for projectiles. But it's definitely once you can kind of master that, I think that's pretty useful.
Mm-hmm.
I saw on Twitch someone was doing Link versus Villager, and they used the Smash Ball, Link Smash Ball, and Villager was just able to pocket the Smash, and he couldn't reuse it, but it saved him from taking damage, and that's like, wow.
Wait,
That's
he
bad.
pocketed Link's like final smash?
Yeah, because when he does this, Link slashes the sword, and like that little beam comes out for the target, and he just pockets it, and the smash is over, and it's wow, like it's so powerful.
That's awesome.
That's interesting. I didn't even realize that it was possible.
I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah, he's a troll.
I need to play around with Villager a little more now.
I don't know. When I was using the villager, I was getting creamed. I mean, I was trying to do attacks, and it seemed like he was really slow, and like I wasn't really doing a whole lot.
He's
But
he's very like more methodical in a way because you have to like plan, like you gotta like you plant a little tree, then you can go around and like attack people, then you come back to it. He's kind of like he takes a little bit of messing around with. I watched some like level 9 computers to like see their play styles a little bit and get some ideas, and then I kind of got some strategies from that a little bit.
when I play the level 9 villager, he just keeps launching that stupid rocket at me.
That's fun to use.
It is. It's a nice recovery as well, which I think a secondary recovery that he's got. You know, if you get launched way out there, you can recover from quite a big distance with him. So I know, and they supposedly made them all even, but it does seem like he's got a lot of extra stuff that might set him above for average players. They might be able to jump on Villager and stand a pretty good chance just because of his extra stuff that he's got over the other players.
I think that's why his balloons are poppable, so then it makes that recovery a lot harder to use to come back. Like I've seen a number of times where he'll be like coming back, and like Mario will be on the edge of just launching fireballs and just like pop, boom, pop, and then it's like woo, goodbye.
Right. So then also with the demo, so we got one stage in the game, and I know it's just one stage, and it's a pretty generic stage. But what did you guys think of Battlefield? Like graphically, was there anything that kind of stood out to you, or was it just? Honestly, and now that I'm thinking about it, I really didn't pay much attention to it. It's stage with 3 platforms. I didn't really, think too much of it.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. I mean, it's Battlefield that we're used to. It looks good. Maybe it's a good time to say I do think the game looks pretty good in 3D. I probably played like kind of half and half in 3D. If I am in a situation where I can actually turn the 3D on, and not playing on the go, but if I'm sitting at home on the couch, then I'll turn it on, and I do enjoy playing with 3D. And I think it doesn't really add, in terms of gameplay, it doesn't really add much, but it does make it more visually appealing, I think, because it's got something that the Wii U version is going to be, obviously in glorious HD, and it's going to look great. So in comparison, the 3DS version is not going to look as good, but that 3D kind of adds something that the Wii U version is not going to have. So I think it does look good, but in terms of Battlefield, yeah, it's Battlefield. It looks good. It looks like it's supposed to. I'm also playing on an XL. I've heard a lot of people saying if you're playing on an original 3DS, then it kind of gets too small sometimes when it zooms out. Kind of hard to tell who's who. But on the XL, it looks good. Yeah, I'd say it's probably maybe on par with Melee's graphics. I think that's a pretty good comparison. I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think
Right.
the graphics are pretty good, actually very good, especially with the 60 frames per second. In terms of Battlefield stage, it is generic. For me, I think the biggest excitement was hearing the Melee stage, or the Melee menu music pop up instead of the standard Battlefield music, and it was just like the first time it was like, all right, like this is actually getting me really pumped up. It's bringing me back to my college days playing Melee in my dorm room. So that much I absolutely loved. But in terms of the graphics, it's really mind-boggling what they're able to do with the portable system nowadays. I just wish they were able to make the assist trophies have a little bit more animation and run at a faster frame rate. But all in all, I think what they crammed into that one little card is beyond impressive.
Right. And they really did cram into that card because that is one of the games that, and I think it's like Monster Hunter 4 or one of the Monster Hunter games where if you can't use Miiverse while you're using the game because like normally it reserves some of the system's power, I guess, to be able to use some of those things. While you pause the game, you press the home button, you use Miiverse, but because I guess the game kind of pushes the limits of the hardware, it won't let you use Miiverse. And in fact, if you actually if you close the demo, it actually reboots the system rather than just taking you back to the home menu. I don't know if anybody's kind of noticed that, but that's why the
Didn't do
new
that for
3DS.
me.
Oh, when you completely closed it?
Yeah.
I think it happened for me, and was it Greg? Somebody posted on the forums, I think, too, or something about
Yeah,
it.
I posted. It's like, did like a system reset, like when you exit out.
Yeah.
When you exit out,
Um,
so like when you just hit
If
the
you're,
home button.
I think if you're
And
if you're playing the demo, like I'm in the demo right now, and then if I just completely, I guess I hit the home button, and
then hit
then
X. It's
no, it's
X.
not even. Yeah, the X to close it. Would you like to close the software? It says closing
Uh-huh.
software. Please wait, and then it's now rebooting my system.
Oh,
See, whenever I closed it, I always would open up Mi Plaza and would say, "Would you like to close this application to open Mi Plaza?" And I'd be like, "Yeah," and it
Gotcha.
didn't restart my system that way.
Gotcha.
interesting.
But I know I think that's why they couldn't use Miiverse because it's using a lot of the system's power or something. But the new
Even the
3DS,
demo.
because it has more stuff, the new 3DS will let you use Miiverse and everything. But I guess that kind of proves that it's really pushing the system's limit. Although the demo, I was kind of surprised that would do it too. But
Yeah, that is surprising. I don't think I realized that, but yep, mine's rebooting right now. So, yeah, that's weird that the demo would do that.
unless the demo is really the full game and it's hiding all these secret characters.
Probably is.
it kind of seemed like it was like at least most of the game because I mean you can see all the characters, like just about all of them, and then you can see like all the levels, but you can't select any of them. They're just like disabled. So it's almost like they just commented out the code that lets you select all those other elements.
Yeah, maybe it's one of like the E3 demos or one of the other show demos, and they just took out some characters and just made something kind of basic.
Yeah, 'cause I
Probably.
got
Not the E3 demo because Shulk is there, and he definitely wasn't in the E3 demo.
Yeah, right. So yeah,
Pac-Man's
maybe a
there
more
too.
recent thing.
Wonder if anybody's actually like any of these skilled people have dived into the code and everything of the demo and tried to figure out anything else.
Who knows?
I'm actually surprised. Not like, here's how to hack the demo to get the full game early.
Right? Press and hold, L and A. Let's all do a crazy combination and like twist your arm around your leg and push this button, and then it unlocks the game.
You forgot to do the
It's-
hokey pokey.
It's probably the Konami code, and we're just like not even tried it yet.
Right.
Oh man, I messed it up.
But so speaking of the full game then and everything, so just to briefly kind of just give some thoughts on what we're looking forward to because the game comes out Friday. Last episode we kind of discussed a lot about the game and and all the leaks and everything. So now we all know, that part was true, and we know the characters in the game because Japan has it. Those lucky people. So now that we know what's in the game, what are you guys most looking forward to about the final version of the game when it comes out this Friday?
First, I'll express my frustration that I didn't get an early copy. We're going to get a review copies coming the day of the launch. And so we apologize to everyone who is wanting our early thoughts on the full game. Apparently, I'm only getting the demo the day of the launch, so you'll have to wait. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be, we talked about earlier, customizing the controls, I think, is something that I'm really looking forward to, only because with Wii U you pretty much have so many different options with the type of control you want to use with it. I mean, you can use the Wii Remote, you can use the nunchuck, you can use a GameCube controller, you can use the Pro controller, you could use the classic controller. Options are pretty much limitless with the Wii U version, but in the 3DS version, you're kind of locked in. You have to use the controls that are built into the system, and so I'm really excited about just customizing my controls and trying to find out the best way to play on the 3DS. And I think with that, it's going to make it more enjoyable experience when I can kind of customize it exactly how I want to play on the 3DS. Other than that, I think just kind of jumping into these new characters and seeing if there's anybody new I'd like. That was cool with Brawl. I wasn't sure. I always went back to my old standbys with Pikachu and Yoshi, but when Brawl came around, I've realized I really like Pit, and I play with Pit a lot. In fact, he became one of my mains that I used. And he was a brand new character, and so there might be a new character that I really fall in love with and play with all the time, and so that's always fun to just kind of dive into new characters and see how they play, see all their different moves, and I think that's the two things that I'm really excited about, is getting the full thing, testing out all the controls, and trying all these new characters. I'm not as excited about the different locations. They're cool and everything, but for me, Smash Brothers is always the reason I'm drawn to Smash Brothers, is because the characters, not necessarily the maps themselves.
I'd like to also echo that. I would love to get my hands on changing up the controls, see what I get used to. That's another beauty of it, because you get used to the 3DS controls, and then like the Wii U gamepad's very similar, like with the button layout with the A, B, X, Y, and the LR. So you could even transition those controls on the Wii U after you've been used to it as well. So that can be a nice bonus there. Obviously, it's always about characters, like Steve said, for me as well. I'll obviously start off as Pikachu and Yoshi to start unlocking characters, and then when I get to some of the other ones that I want to try, I'll definitely be using those, trying them out, giving them a chance, and seeing if I can be remotely decent with them. It's really weird how me and Steve's favorites line up. Like, I used Pit a lot. He was another one of my newcomers that I enjoyed using. I also like Meta Knight. I don't know if that's another one he didn't mention, but I wasn't actually too cheap with him. I just didn't really know how to use them, and I would seem to be better just about hitting the buttons with Meta Knight, and I was winning a lot. But
never liked Meta Knight. Actually, my fourth one for Brawl, the one I usually went back to, was either Lucas or Zelda. Actually, not Sheik. I preferred Zelda over Sheik. So that was the kind of the third string, fourth string, mains that I ended up going back to, and never really liked Meta Knight.
Yeah, well, Martha's been one of my first four-string characters, so I've always been excited for him. He was the first character I pre-ordered for the Amiibo, because I figured he would also be harder to get as well. That's one thing I'll miss on Friday, is not being able to have those and use them yet, but then again, those aren't even released yet.
Yeah, I think like you guys, I'm definitely gonna work on the controls and get that down pat. Although that's not going to affect me as much on the Wii U version, because I'm getting the bundle with the GameCube controller, so that will just come back naturally, I hope. But I definitely will dive into the new characters. I'm loving Mega Man. I want to see how Pit has changed. I can't wait to play as Shulk. If he's available from the start, I don't care. I'm starting with Shulk. and then I'm just gonna do whatever I can to unlock all the characters first as a priority, not even caring necessarily about playing the best until that point, and then I'll worry about seeing what Dark Pits versus regular Pit, and seeing how like Duck Hunt Dog is gonna play as, because I'm really interested in seeing that too.
Right.
That's true. I forgot about Duck Hunt Dog. He might be one of the ones that I go to first just to see.
I have to unlock him.
That's true. So might try to find out exactly how I need to unlock him and then go after him as soon as I can.
I wonder if the roster they show in the demo is the starting roster or not. I kind
I
of
think
my
so.
pen on that, but probably.
From what I've read, you start with a lot of characters, so that would
Yeah,
make
I think.
sense.
There's only 12 hidden characters, I believe.
Gotcha. I think
That's what
we
it
all
is.
should have a moment of silence for the ice climbers. It's,
Yes, damn it.
sad fate. But Sakurai did confirm it was indeed because the 3DS couldn't handle, I guess, the ice climbers there. So that is the reason for them being
They could
cut.
come back in the Wii U version.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.
I think it'd have to be a DLC, but I wouldn't put it past them though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ice Climbers was one of the ones that I like to play. They weren't a main, but they were kind of like those second tier characters that I was like, I'll try to change things up, and I really liked annoying other people with. There's two characters that I liked annoying people with a lot, and it's probably I'm not the only one that does this, but with Ice Climbers was one of them, and Sonic was the other. Very annoying characters, and it was always fun to play as them. And unfortunately, I can't do that anymore.
Well, it was either the last Evo or the one before that with Melee, where Ice Climbers were in the final. Like, they were like second place. So the fact that they got there shows that Ice Climbers can certainly not only do well, but they're really skilled players who play this competitively that do like it, or like playing as them. So I can't see them not like disappearing completely from the Wii version. I think down the road they'll say, all right, we're going to make some Wii U exclusive stuff, or like they have Smash Run, which is the 3DS exclusive. I think they'll do something like that.
Yeah, it is interesting that they cut Ice Climbers because they separate and use more power or whatever. But it seems, it's not exactly the same, but Rosalina and Luma are similar. Not exactly the same whatsoever, but similar, and so that they could be able to, pull the power out of the 3DS to do that, but not the Ice Climbers. It doesn't seem like it'd be too much more power to use that.
I kind of wish what they did is left them in there, and for the 3DS, if it was a power issue, just make it an ice climb, different costumes for the two of them, and at least have that as an option.
Right, or turn off, indirectly turn off the trophies that pull out additional, characters that fight or something like that. Some way to kind of save some power if the Ice Climbers are in the battle or something.
But people did notice a couple things, like the Freezy item, which is from Ice Climbers. In the trophies, it does not have the eggplant icon from Ice Climbers, which some people are like, what does that mean? But it's there. It's an Ice Climber element.
Right, and they also start it's a weird glitch that I found.
Right.
They start chanting their names, but you have to do some odd things to make it happen. But they do start chanting Ice Climbers' names.
People did take down the code of the game, and they found where the list of all the characters were. The Ice Climbers were there, so they were definitely clearly planned to be a part of it. But then I guess they found out that due to hardware limitations, they couldn't handle it. So there's definitely traces of them in the game. So Wii U they could for sure come back at some point. That would be interesting.
Speaking of weird glitches, quickly, I don't know if you saw, I think this was released today, about the Yoshi glitch, where if you're fighting against a bunch of enemies with Yoshi and you just keep eating one and spitting them out in an egg, they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until they cover the whole screen. And it's like, wow, it's such a bizarre glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would certainly be interesting.
I actually didn't read it. I heard about the giant character thing. I didn't know it was triggered from Yoshi's movie.
Yeah, there's a video on it.
It was in the what is it? I don't know, multi-man melee or whatever they call it in this game. I think it was in that mode or something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It is. It's funny to just obviously the game's not going to be perfect, but it's weird how some of these glitches are really funny. It doesn't seem like any of them are game breaking so far, at least not that I've heard of. They're more just kind of humorous, and they're usually found on the single player stuff. It doesn't seem like there's anything huge that's really messed up the multiplayer, which is nice.
Well,
Right.
Peach was getting banned in multiplayer for using her item.
Oh,
That's true. I think they fixed that.
But I guess,
yeah.
I thought I saw Nintendo already patched that. So we'll have like a day one update.
Right. But yeah, I guess that's good though that it shows that they're committed to patching the stuff and making that stuff that's fixed and things go smoothly. So that's definitely good. So yeah, final game comes out Friday. Personally, the one thing I echo what everybody else said. I'm looking forward to all of that, but also for me the customizing the character movesets. That is definitely something that I'm looking forward to trying out because you have so many characters and then so many different custom moves. So just being able to see.
You got to unlock all those moves, and I think it's a random unlock except for Mii Fighter.
Right. So it's going to take time. So that means I got lots of hours that I need to get ready for this game, and I'm prepared. But I'm looking forward to it, and
It's true.
It'll be cool.
Speaking of the custom moves, I'm actually kind of going back and forth if I'm actually okay with this or not. In theory, of course, I'm okay. But in terms of personally, if I'm going to be playing this, if I'm actually going to use custom moves as much, because I was thinking about that, like if I'm actually going to go online and play with other people or playing locally, for the most part I'm gonna be stuck to the built-in moves, right? And so would it be right to get used to these custom ones that I really like, and all of a sudden I can't use those when I take it online? So would it affect my gameplay if I'm used to the custom ones and stuff? So I'm kind of going back and forth if I actually will really try them or not. Of course, I'll try them a little bit to kind of see what they're like and be fun, to try them out. But if I use them a lot, I'm kind of leaning toward not using them on a regular basis, just because I don't want to get used to them, and all of a sudden I go online to play and then, oh, sorry, can't use that.
Right. I feel like. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that was pretty much my entire point. I didn't think I was really going to even really look into it because I felt like I'm the kind of person that will get really used to it. Like I was super used to the GameCube controller, and this has been like the hardest transition. I mean, I tried Brawl with the classic controller, and I just couldn't do it. And that's like the same thing as the 3DS controls. But I know a lot of my gameplay right now is like not minimal jumping. Like I'm only using jumping to really recover. I'm not really using a lot of jump attacks like I used to in the previous games, and that's still been a terrible adjustment for me to try and figure that stuff out and use it and get used to it. So I know if I would make my moves stronger or whatever, or faster, then I'd rely on the timing of those moves, and then when you go online, then you can't even use the moves in most cases, and then your timing will all be messed up again to try and like, hey, well, it used to hit, but now it doesn't because it's normal. Or it was too slow or too fast than what you were used to.
Right. Yeah, I think I was trying to look online to get an idea of like the custom moves that are out there and stuff, and see some of the characters, and from what I saw, like for some of the characters like Villager and some others, I feel like if I did customize anything, it'd be like one or two moves. Most of the stuff I probably wouldn't really use. So if I were to customize, it would be just some differences really. So I think at least for me, I might just do a little bit just to kind of change it up a little bit, but not anything too drastic. Like I remember one of his custom moves was, how his Villager's gyroid will go sideways, so one of them instead goes upwards instead, so it's kind of a bit more of a recovery. But I didn't really like that, so I'd probably keep it, that way. But it's little changes like that, I think, to some of the custom moves. So that's the only thing with that. But lots of stuff for sure to unlock, lots of trophies and custom moves and all sorts of different things in the full game. So that is coming out on Friday.
Got a quick question though. I was thinking about this the other day, and it might not be an original thought with me, but so we don't yet know what this connection between the 3DS and the Wii U version will be. Like they pretty much kind of left that open for the most part. We know a little bit, but not a whole lot. Do you think that the stuff that you unlock, at least the characters or different things like that, on the 3DS version, and if you get the Wii version, will transfer over I was hoping so, because like it'd be a pain to unlock that stuff again. I mean, of course I'm going to, but it would be nice if like at least the unlockables or something that you did on the 3DS, because they've already said the players that you level up are going to be able to transfer over. So I'm wondering if unlockables and stuff like that are also going to be able to transfer over.
Good question.
Well,
It's possible.
the only thing I can say is somebody did a text dump of the 3DS game and found all the text from the game. And anything related, there were two things related to the Wii U. They found one that showed the 3DS could be used as a controller for the game, and they found something that was like transferring your Mii fighters from the 3DS to the Wii U game. And that was the only text that they found in the text dump. So to me, it sounds like that might be it. I'm hoping there's more. I'm hoping they've been hiding all this stuff all this time because they have some big secret thing, like you connect the two versions, you unlock this special thing, or I don't know, but that's all they found in the text dump of the game. So
I hope that when you connect the two, it shows, congratulations, you've unlocked new stuff, and right there is a picture of Ridley, like roaring, and he's not even unlocked, just like to troll the people. I think that would just be hilarious.
I was always thinking you'd say like, "Oh, connect the two versions. Oh, you've unlocked Ice Climbers." Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and they always could be. I mean, they could be holding back and saying, as soon as the game launches for Wii U, we're going to release a patch for the 3DS.
Right.
It's going to be adding other things in that we didn't put in the original game. For a couple different reasons. Maybe because they didn't plan on putting in that in the beginning, or they added it later, or they knew that people would be checking out the code and decided, hey, we'll just release this later as DLC instead of putting it out there so that people won't ruin it for everybody else or something. But that's cool. I think that we've talked about this before, but the day and age that we live in now, with being able to release patches and DLC and stuff, can really change the game. In a real way.
Knowing Sakurai, there's going to be some troll moment, and I can see them doing something where you've unlocked a character and show like a shadow of Ridley, which changes to a shadow of Mewtwo, which changes to like a shadow of King K. Rool, and then in the end it's Waluigi or something like
Right.
Can I use Waluigi as an assist trophy?
Unlock him this way anyway, like just some kind of troll, or the Discon, the little yellow Famicom Disk System mascot with the glasses, like that's the character you unlock. Something that's like a total troll.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think for sure there probably will be DLC, and I think the game's code, they did have some text that mentioned something about downloading a file or something like that, and there are like in the images of like the stage select screen and stuff, there's like little arrow icons that were in the game's code. And that are not there, and they look like the exact same size as the stage. And if you like look at the picture of the stage, there's like an empty square where an arrow would fit perfectly, which could potentially be click the arrow, scroll over, and see more stages or something. So
They've done it before.
There's definitely a lot of hints. Yeah, exactly. They've done it in Brawl and stuff. And so I think there definitely will be DLC. It's just a matter of when, if it's both 3DS and Wii U, how much, and what, all that stuff. But yeah.
But some of the opinions I've read, people have made it to seem like there's only going to be DLC for stages, and characters are probably not going to be as likely. But obviously, we would all love more characters, but I don't know if I believe like all the opinions saying like it'll only be stages only, or will they really be able to add characters to the Wii U version?
There'll be characters. If they added characters to Mario Kart, and Hyrule Warriors, they're going to add characters to Smash Brothers.
Yeah, at least the Wii U.
I think
3DS, I don't know, but
a Wii U version.
Yeah, there's so many though, right? Like how many are there? Like 56 or something like that?
49 or 51 if you count Mii Fighter as 3.
That's what it is. Yeah, I mean it's by far the biggest roster so far. So I mean, we talked about this last time. I mean, it's a pretty impressive roster already. Of course, it'd be nice to have Ice Climbers and other characters in there too. But I'm not disappointed in the overall roster. It's a pretty good one already.
See, I'm happy with the roster, but I've seen so many people go, "This is the worst roster ever. Oh my God, this is horrible." And I'm like, really? Why? Like, what? Mewtwo, you have Lucario. Ice Climbers, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks not getting Lucas back. But to say it's the worst roster ever, First off, if you're even going to proclaim that, the original Smash Brothers has to be, because that only has 12 characters, and those 12 are in every single game.
Right. I mean, you got like Duck Hunt Dog for crying out loud. Like,
No.
come on, how can you hate a game and it's
You
got
know
stuff
what?
like
It's
that?
the
You know?
people who only play Pokemon that want Mewtwo and don't know, like, oh, why is Shulk there? And oh, why is Duck Hunt Dog there? We weren't born for Duck Hunt, and we don't play JRPGs that aren't Pokemon. So all Pokemon roster, or it's a horrible roster, and it's like, you guys suck. Just go die on a
They can
tire or
go play
something.
that Pokken, whatever that game is called
Hey,
again.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean that'll be cool too. But um,
I mean, some of the YouTube comments I've seen, people are hating on it because there's too many Fire Emblem characters, and there's still people that are upset that the Wii Fit trainers in the game. I mean, I've seen that stuff saying like why the roster is so bad, but it's
Yeah.
like
I think it's cool because it seems like it's by far the most diverse roster that they put out there. You know, you do have Duck Hunt Dog and Wii Fit Trainer, but you got some, like, Shulk and some other Fire Emblem characters and stuff like that. I think it's a really diverse roster, and yeah, I don't know why people are complaining so much either.
People are saying so many sword fighters when I think there's like 5 that use swords out of 49. I mean, come on.
right.
These are the same people who buy first-person shooters every single year when there's 500 released every single year, and they're like, "Oh, too many of one." No, they don't know what too many is apparently.
Right. Exactly. Well, this Friday it is finally coming out, Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo 3DS, and so I'm very excited about it. I know we all are. So it'll definitely be something that we will all be playing a lot of, and we will set up plenty of NintendoFuse tournaments and other stuff, and have some fun with that. And I'm excited about that. So stay tuned to NintendoFuse.com for that. Last thing, then, I just wanted to kind of briefly, we can all talk about recent games that we've been playing. So then next week for our full podcast, we can just get right into it with Smash Brothers and everything else. So I'll kind of just kick things off with 2 other games besides the demo, Smash Brothers demo. Hyrule Warriors for Wii U. Been playing that. Played like the first 2 levels of it. But it's fun. I mean, I'm a little bit familiar with Dynasty Warriors, but I've never really like played much of it. But I love, it's like the perfect concept. Like it's like Legend of Zelda, but like more action oriented, and that's what I have always wanted in a way. And so it's so much fun to just go and just I don't know, go capture the keeps that are there, and just kind of like you're playing as all these different Zelda characters and everything, and it seems like it'll be really cool and have a lot of replayability and stuff as well. So I'm excited about that one. That's been a lot of fun. And then the other game I just bought, was it yesterday, I think? Disney Infinity 2.0. I kind of splurged on that one. Sold my old iPhone and then used that money to buy like all the Disney Infinity 2 stuff. And I played through. I tried all the characters yesterday. And they're a lot of fun to play as. I mean, that game, just like the first game, is packed with content. So I haven't even scratched the surface with that one. But just all the little Marvel touches, like you can get other power discs and stuff, and summon like Ant-Man and the Winter Soldier and other stuff in the game. And it's just, I only got like 4 packs of the power discs, but I got like the perfect ones. Like I can drive as Lola from Agents of Shield. And like it's just like all these little things. I'm like, yes, this is so awesome. So it's everything that I could have wanted from a Marvel version of Disney Infinity in a way, basically.
Did you get all the characters?
I did, except the Hulk, because that right now is a exclusive to like this giant PlayStation pack. It'll be released individually later on, but I got all the other ones.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and go next since I've also been playing Disney Infinity 2.0 edition. I got a review copy like the day before it launched or something like that, so didn't get a whole lot of time beforehand to play it, so I'm still working through it and everything. Hopefully we'll have the review posted within the next few days. I'm going away for 3 days this week, so maybe by the time I get back, I'll have a full review posted of it. But like you, it's so much. It's packed with so much. I think they did a really good job with the toy box updates. There's so many different ways that you can customize your toy box and everything now, and they've made it both more complicated, I guess, because in a way, because you can do more, but they've also made it simpler to do those things. So you can make more, elaborate toy boxes, but they've simplified the way of doing it. So that's really cool for people like me who are not, people that would sit back and just spend hours and hours and hours building things. It's pretty cool that they've kind of simplified the process for others to start creating toy boxes. Probably the one negative I have about it is that the graphics are not that great on Wii U. It's sub HD. I don't know what the actual resolution is, but it could look so much better, I think, on Wii U. And I can't remember what the original one looked like. That might be the similar set of graphics, but I was expecting, better graphics than what I'm seeing. It's not horrible, but I was like, oh, this is kind of unfortunate. It could look better than this. There's a little more jaggies, things like that. So, but overall, it's fun. It's really cool to play as the Marvel characters, and they packed so much into it. Like you said, Hassan, it's amazing. How much Marvel touches are in that game. The only thing I feel like I'm missing right now is X-Men. They put X-Men's characters in there too. It's gonna be great. So maybe that will be a future expansion on it or something like that. The only other game that I've been playing from Zen Studios, the same ones that did the Zen Pinball and stuff, they gave me a review copy of Kick Beat Special Edition, and this is one of those games that I wasn't expecting. Wasn't even on my radar, and it's a rhythm fighting game. And so basically the idea is you have 4 sets of buttons, so you get your A, B, X, Y, or you can actually use up, down, left, right on your control pad as well. And you either press the button at the exact same time, or sometimes there's combos of buttons. You'll press like A and B at the same time, or X and Y at the same time, or whatever. And basically you have these ninjas that are attacking you from all different levels, and some of them attack right on the beat and it's slow, some attack faster, some of them attack right after each other, some have special things that you're holding, so you have to double tap the button, but you kind of grow into it and everything, and it's all set to music. Some of them are actual songs that are released, like, not pop songs, but songs that you've probably heard of before on the radio, and then other songs that I've never heard of before. And it's got actually a pretty substantial track list, and it can get really difficult. So like you have to be really zoned in to play some of the higher levels. So that's kind of cool. It has like 5 different levels of difficulty that you can go through, and then you can also do like an endless mode too, that you can compete with others online. So if you're into rhythm games, you might want to check it out. I'll have the full review of it soon, but it's not for the faint of heart. It's kind of difficult sometimes.
And to bring it back towards like Hassan, I was also playing Hyrule Warriors. I had the review copy. It's currently in editing. Hopefully I'll get that up either this week or early next week. But as he was saying, it is a lot of fun. I did feel at times it seems like you're doing the same thing like a lot. Like you're just using the same characters. Like go capture this fort. Okay, go capture this keep. Okay, go capture this one. Okay, now go fight the boss. Boom, done. And it's like next map. Okay, capture this keep. Capture that keep. Okay, now you gotta go rescue Princess Zelda before she gets captured. It's like you're doing like the same stuff just about on the map. The order just might be different. But I mean, it's still pretty fun. And like my review, I was gonna say it's best in small doses. Like if you're just gonna be playing for like a half an hour, boom, perfect. You can get one story mode done or a few levels of the adventure mode done. But that part is really cool to be able to just jump in and be able to play and just go in there and do that. I also really like the customization of all the badges, the weapons. That stuff is all really cool. How you find like materials and then you have to upgrade them in the bazaar thing. That was also pretty cool. I was a huge fan of the adventure mode because it takes after Zelda 1. You can use like bombs or whatever after you find them on like spots. So if you played the original game and you still know where a lot of those hidden secrets are, you have a pretty good grasp on where they'll actually be on the Hyrule Warriors when you're playing that mode too. So if you remember, like the first screen when you go up, it was like the second wall over, and from the middle or whatever, there was like a rupee secret there. So that if you bomb there in Hyrule Warriors, that's where the secret is that unlocks for like a certain character. If you beat that mission with that character, you get like a heart container or something. So I liked how they stay true to the original map. with that. Um, Another game I was playing is Teslagrad. That's also on Wii U eShop that released not too long ago. It's like a platformer. You use like magnetic powers. You have like red and blue. So then you can use like the red against blue to like move yourself closer to like another object. Like there'll be platforms that are like blue, and then you can make yourself red, and then you like hover towards it, and then you can like climb across the ceiling, like using while you're merged with that. And then if you like switch yourself over to blue, it'll propel you like farther away, like it's magnetically like launch you away from that particular object. So you're using a lot of platforming skills, and then the bosses are pretty hard, and some of the like you only get like one hit before you're dead, so like you're restarting. But I mean, there is auto save like in every room, so it's not like you're really doing a ton of redoing a lot of your work. But that one's pretty interesting. It is a little different, different and a little bit hard. So if you're not into hard, difficult platforming, that's probably not the game for you either. Because there was one room I actually had to look up on YouTube how to get past, and it wasn't that far into the game. So because like you get like this dash attack, and then you have to look super fast, but like the timing it had to be pretty precise to get past it, and I didn't know because like the room branches like you can go up or down, so it's like which one do you start with, and then like you have these things that are like rolling towards you, and it's like you have to time it to like leave at a certain time, and you have to like go up or down, like in like a maze like thing to like dodge other stuff that's moving around. So it was kind of hard right there at first, but so that's that game. And then on the 3DS I picked up Lego City: The Chase Begins over this middle of the summer, and then I did beat that one pretty fast. I did have the Wii U version, so I was just interested to see how that played out. The story was kind of the same. There was not a lot of voice acting in that one, surprisingly, since the Wii U version does have all of that. So that was kind of disappointing. But other than that, I've been playing the Smash demo now that I've had beat Lego City, and I'm all ready for next 3DS game.
Well, like everyone else, I've been playing Hyrule Warriors, and right now I'm absolutely loving it. I do agree with Greg though; it's definitely best in small doses. I'll boot it up, play like one or two story missions. I think I'm over halfway through the story, and then I'll go do some other stuff. But it's better than I thought. I'm not a really big Dynasty Warriors fan. I haven't played a lot of them, but it's one of those things where I'm such a huge Zelda fan. I said I got to play it anyway. And while it is very similar, get the keep, go ahead, defeat this general. Okay, you just keep now. Now rescue so and so, protect your base, go kill boss, rinse and repeat. I did find it entertaining, especially just being able to pull off some of the moves and all the little Easter eggs they do, like with Lana, where she has moves where little Deku sprouts from Ocarina of Time come and shoot seeds, and then her big final move is the Great Deku Tree. And like just seeing those little touches, I was very, very happy to see. A little love, the extra love to the Zelda fans. And my biggest disappointment is that it splits up into 3 different Zelda games, and it should have done more. Like I would have loved to go to Koland Island, or go to Termina, or go to the Great Sea, and pull in so many other games, go to Labyrintha and all the other worlds. Zelda has so many other worlds, so I really hope in DLC they add those in. On the 3DS side, none of you have mentioned this yet. Theater Rhythm, Final Fantasy Curtain Call, which I was a huge fan of the first one. If you don't know, it's a rhythm game, very similar to Elite Beat Agents, if you played that in the DS, except it's all the Final Fantasy music. There's over 200 tracks, not counting DLC. There's like 50 or 60 characters to unlock, which are a lot easier to do than the first game. The tracks, if you've ever heard Final Fantasy music, they're amazing. And there's 3 different difficulties per song, and on the hardest difficulty, it can get pretty insane. And the first game, they just use touch controls. So that's what I naturally went to on this one too. And then I found out there's actually 2 other control schemes. You could do, for like moving in directions, you could use the circle pad and use one of the buttons on the right, or you can play completely left-handed and just use the L button for triggers and the circle pad to move in different directions for arrows. And it keeps track of what you use for your records. So if you have like a certain song that you're really good at, it'll say if you use the touch screen, if you use the stylus, or if you use like the left only or the buttons. So it's kind of cool that it really lets you play how you want. And there are certain songs that felt like, oh, I was using the touchscreen and it didn't register, or I was holding a note and suddenly it said I skipped it. So then I started using the buttons, and I'm like, oh, I'm not having that problem anymore. But if you like rhythm games, if you like Final Fantasy, get that game for the 3DS. Show Square we like their games. We want more Square games, especially Final Fantasy Hunters that's coming out. Or Explorers, that's a Final Fantasy Explorers.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah, I've played the first Theatrhythm Final Fantasy. I bought it actually. And it's fun. Now, I'm not big in the Final Fantasy series, so that's why it didn't really like completely stick with me. But despite not really being familiar with the series and everything, I still kind of enjoyed that because I like rhythm games like that and everything. So that's definitely pretty cool. Um, yeah. Let's see. So, Steve, do we have some breaking news during the podcast here?
Maybe, I think so. It looks like I was just checking my Twitter feed, and many of you guys know NintendoDan. We've talked with him and everything at E3 before, and kind of hung out with him over in the Netherlands. And he just posted a picture of his cleaned up Wii, showing a lot of folders on his Wii U menu. So it looks like an update is coming to the Wii U. It looks like maybe Europeans already have it, and it looks like Japan and US is coming tomorrow. So if he is to be believed, which I think he is, we're getting an update to our firmware on Wii U tomorrow, and you can organize your Wii U menu in folders like you can on the 3DS. So that'd be kind of cool because I'm starting to get into like 3 or 4 pages on my Wii U. So I don't know if there's anything else to this update, but it does look like it involves being able to organize in folders.
Nice. I do see, just looking at the icons on there, I don't know if this is on the gamepad already, but I see the download management thing has an icon on the screen now. Usually, don't you have to hit like the home button or something?
You do, yeah. They've been slowly moving those home, like when you hit the home button, that secondary menu thing pop up. They've been slowly moving those to the actual home menu, and that looks like that's the last one that they have officially moved from the home button now to the actual menu. So yeah, that looks like it's been done as well. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else, but it definitely looks like those 2 things are happening.
Nice. Somebody on NeoGAF just said the new firmware update release 5.2.0, and they put folders can now be created, and a download management icon has been added. So the 2 things we pointed out. And the quick start menu will now display when the Wii U is powered on from the Wii U Gamepad TV remote. Options have been added to power settings that allow users to hide certain software from the quick start menu. Design and layout of home menu has been updated. Disabled usage of characters not used when redeeming eShop cards like O, I, Z, etc. Improvements, system stability, further improvements, and yeah. So basically, main thing is the folders and that icon being there. But
That's
they
cool.
say 5.2.0U, which is the US version, so maybe it's out now.
Maybe
So,
it is.
Go grab your gamepads, folks. Go turn on your Wii U and download the updates live right now. Possibly. No promises.
Mine's probably dead because the red light was on when I was playing Hyrule Warriors yesterday, and since it likes to buzz blue like all day, it's probably dead right now, like 100%.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's always some sort of like special breaking news. At least this time it was right before we ended the podcast, because usually it's typically as soon as we hang up, we're like, oh great, well they announced this. But that pretty much concludes our little mini special episode or whatever. If everything turned out okay, then we'll upload that onto iTunes as well. I'm trying to multitask and see for sure if I can download any update and like confirm to you guys or not. But the one other thing, I just realized this and I looked it up to confirm. Today is September 29th, 2014. Does anybody know what happened exactly 5 years ago? The start of this podcast.
Oh, nice.
September 29th, 2009 was the start of the podcast. So, pretty crazy. I cannot believe that it's been 5 years there. So I think it's time for a little celebration. I got my little hat on and everything. But yeah, so it's been crazy. I did not even realize that. It's Richard.
I got my hat too.
Nice. It is updating my Wii U right now, so system update is out right now. 5 years. 5 years. And so for that, we'll have something special for you the next episode next week. I'll try and get some eShop gift cards or something. We'll have some cool giveaways. So get ready next week, next episode. Probably, are you guys all good like Monday night?
Yeah.
Same time?
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, this Monday in 1 week, 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll come back with our full episode of the podcast, Talk Super Smash Brothers. We'll fully celebrate today's anniversary and everything. Steve's got like a little, is that a cake or a
That's a
cupcake?
cake, yeah. I
Yeah,
could
there we
put
go.
5 candles on it, but there's our cake for our anniversary.
Yay! So come celebrate. We'll give away some eShop gift cards and have some fun. So thank you all so much for the past 5 years and for joining us throughout that. And we'll continue to discuss video games because we love to do so. So that pretty much wraps things up. Just check out NintendoFuse.com for all the latest Nintendo news and reviews, and we will see you guys later.
See ya.
So long!
Bye.